Good morning, everyone. Well, it's morning when I'm recording this. It may not be morning when you see this, or if you see it. Haven't done an update in a little while. I'm going to take these glasses off because they're turning, despite the fact that it's kind of cloudy and off and on rainy today. So I'm going to do this without my glasses. So if anything's wrong, I'm probably not going to be able to see it. Anyway, I'm being kind of off the cuff with this morning, as you can tell, and just wanted to just come on and give you a little bit of update and just a couple little my favorite things since it's Christmas. A lot of people are doing Vlogmas. Bless their hearts. Bless your hearts. That's a lot of work, and honestly, I'm not that much of a YouTuber to go into that, but I will do just a little holiday greeting and a little update. So let's start with the health update. Everything is honestly going well. With autoimmune hepatitis and PBC, there's always the ups and downs. And I had a little bit of I'll say downs. My lab work was up just a little bit last month. Just rewinding back to the end of September and October, my mother lives in Western North Carolina. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. We felt the effects of Helene here, but not near as much. I mean, it's just astronomical what happened in Western North Carolina. And I could really go into that subject because I'm really infuriated right now with the relief efforts from the government up there and some of the things that the local governments are doing to make it even more difficult for people to move back in on their property. So, but I will leave it at that. There's plenty on YouTube about that, and that's really it's really got my goat right now. But I'm trying to, all we can do is what we can do. And I'm doing what I can do for Western North Carolina and for my family and people who were affected. My mother was affected. Fortunately, 80% of her damage is covered by insurance because it was wind damage and not flood damage. But anyway, I'm getting off on a rabbit trail I don't need to get off on there. But again, let's just do the health update and how that all affected. I really believe the stress of what was going on in my home area. My mother stayed with me for 2 weeks. My mother is not frail, but she's having the normal effects of aging. She's 83 years old now, and she has had several losses in her life in the last 3 years, which includes her husband and her son, and her son-in-law. My late husband lost a brother in a very tragic way. Just a lot of loss. So she has really handled that well, really well for her age. But there have been effects. There always are effects of grief. I can attest for that. I really believe that my autoimmune issues started with the stress and anticipatory grief, and then actual grief from losing my husband to cancer. So again, different subject, different day, because I could really do a long video about that. But my mom's stress and helping her through what she's been through with Hurricane Helene has, I think, affected me last month, even though her house is livable. Thank God. She was only here for 2 weeks, and she was able to move back into her home. Great neighbors, great people to help her. But again, coming back to my health, I think that affected my health as far as I wasn't able to watch my diet as much during that time, and just, again, the stress of it. But with autoimmune hepatitis and PBC, you're going to have those ups and downs. I hate when things don't just keep trending well, but with a chronic condition, something that, that can kind of go into remission or at least be stable, but it's never going to be cured. Doesn't mean I'll ever have to have a liver transplant or that it'll ever get that far, or I'll have cirrhosis. I'm nowhere near that right now. So for that, I'm grateful. But my alkaline phosphatase which has always been my worst liver enzyme, did trend back up 3 points. And I really hesitate to even complain about that because now that I've really delved into it, I have not been fasting before I go get my liver enzymes, because the nurse for my liver doctor said, and even my doctor said, you don't have to fast before just your regular enzyme work. But the more I read, the more I hear that, gosh, that eating can affect alkaline phosphatase by 30 points. Okay, so maybe I'm getting a false elevation there. Maybe I'm not. But I am also experimenting. I don't have to go back and have blood work for 2 months. I'm due for my yearly physical. Was actually due for it in January, but because my general practitioner is taking on more of an administrative duty within his practice, he's only going to be seeing people in the afternoon. So they called and changed my appointment, which was supposed to be the 2nd of January to February 7th. So I won't be seeing him till the 7th, but I will be getting my labs drawn 2 weeks, which coincided when I was supposed to have my next liver enzyme and WBC comprehensive liver panel. So I need to talk to them and make sure that if I just get that'll suffice, and I don't have to have my labs drawn twice. Who wants to do that? Not me. So really won't be getting any more answers till the end of January, or any more lab work till the end of January, which is fine with me. I would rather have a period where I'm not really thinking about it. But in the meantime, when I was seeing the functional medicine doctor, which I have not in over a year and a half, he had put me on a thing called TUDCA, which is actually, I don't want to say a derivative, I don't even know the right word. It's part of what's in the ursodiol I take. It's an element of that. Really, even my liver doctor said the urso is just basically a vitamin, a vitamin supplement. And it's true. It's just a bile salt. TUDCA is the more, I don't want to say natural, but it is the form of it that you can get over the counter. I had taken that during the time I was with my functional medicine doctor and trying to do this naturally without modern drugs. And it didn't really help at the time. But I'm just doing a little experiment. I'm still taking my ursodiol, that bile salt, as prescribed, but I'm also adding 250 milligram TUDCA every day. I'm going to see if that makes a big difference in my lab work the next time. I've not told my doctor about that. But again, with him even saying all this is, bile salts are just basically like taking a vitamin, meaning there's nothing that no major side effects. There are some side effects to all of it. Stomach upset, diarrhea. And again, when I started taking the TUDCA, it did added the TUDCA with urso. It did upset my stomach a little bit for a few days, and then it was over. It was exactly like the last time I took it. So just a temporary little, my stomach was like, what's going on here? And then it was over. So we'll see. I won't know any if it's affecting it or not until in January. So onward. What else? My energy has just been tremendously a whole lot better. I would almost equate my energy right now to my late 30s energy. I don't even want to go into saying it's my 20s and 30s energy. It's not, but I still have to daily, and make sure I don't get my schedule overpacked, which I've done for the holidays, but it's really not been a whole lot of way to get around it. With blended families and church and things. So, but my energy is really good. I honestly believe at the 1st of November, I might have had COVID. I had a cold that kind of hung on for a week or so. I've still occasionally have a cough, but it never got bad. It never got terrible. But it was really like the same thing I had when I had COVID. I had thought I had COVID back in October. I had a little sniffle, and I took the last COVID test I had here, and it was negative at the time. So this time I didn't have any tests, so I just didn't even bother. But I had about a week and a half, 2 weeks of fatigue, like feeling like I was really going backwards. But in my mind, I knew that it was probably just post-viral syndrome, be it COVID or some other virus I had. So I just kind of just told myself it'll get better, and if it don't, then we'll figure it out. But right now, I'm like back better than my baseline has been in over 2 years. Honestly, this is the first year, I won't say I've had zero grief, but I've not had a major close family member die in the last 3 years. So maybe I'm coming out of the grief a little bit. Grief's definitely still there, but will always be. But I honestly feel like I feel so much better. And that's probably because my liver enzymes are down. It's probably because of a lot of things. You know, my other liver enzymes, my ALT and AST, are still high normal, but my liver doctor is very happy with that. It's just the little creeping around on my alkaline phosphatase, but still, it's tremendously lower than what it had been for at least 3 or 4 years. So I attribute that to my body responding to therapy. I'm also on hormone replacement, so I think maybe that's finally kicked in. I won't go into my weight issues. I'm definitely not my heaviest, not anywhere near my heaviest, but I'm definitely not near my lowest of the last decade. But holidays are just not a time to address that. I mean, I'm eating as good as I can most days, but I'm also, winter is my eating time. I love comfort food in the winter, and as much as I don't have an appetite much in the summer, it's like 180 in the winter. So I'm kind of dealing with that right now, but I'm gonna, you know, I'm just doing the best I can on a daily basis. So I think that's about it. I don't want to make this too long. I have a couple of my little favorite things. A lot of people doing Vlogmas and doing little things they bought this year that they like and would make good gifts. The first thing I want to point out is my little necklace. I actually bought this a couple of months ago on Amazon because I wanted to add to my necklace collection a little bit. When I got it, I thought, man, that's really, you know, I thought I wanted the little small one, and then I thought, well, no, I wanted a bigger heart. My late husband loved hearts, so anytime I see something with a heart, it just kind of, I'll add it to cart or put it in my physical cart. I don't wear a ton of jewelry, but I'm wearing more lately. In the winter, I start dressing up a little bit more around the holidays. But but once I put it on, and I actually forgot it, I put it in my my jewelry cabinet that my late husband had gotten for me several years ago, even before we got married. And promptly, I left it in the box and promptly forgot about it. And then the other day, I went to the went in there and I thought, what is in that box? And then I opened it up. I went, oh, it's that little bitty heart necklace that I ordered. And so I wore it this week for a couple of little parties in church and things like that I went to. And I was like, I really love this. At first I thought it's going to be too small, but it's so dainty and it's so cute, and it looks cute on me, I think. So, it's on Amazon. I don't have a link for it, but if you go in there and look for tiny heart necklace, it's probably going to show up. And I think it was $14 or $15. It wasn't anything to break the bank. I wear most of the costume jewelry. I will show you my second favorite thing. And there's a story behind, these are actually diamond earrings that my late husband Ron bought me. Someone had told him he bought this the Christmas after we were married. Christmas of 2020, he bought these for me. And he was kind of a jewelry guy, you know. He had bought jewelry for his late wife, and I've got some of her stuff, you know. But anyway, the story behind it is, I don't have my wedding set on. I'm not wearing my wedding rings anymore. That's a whole nother story for another day. But I have elected not to wear my wedding ring anymore, even though it makes me very sad. No, I'm not out on the market. I'm not. I'm not. But anyway, he got me a lovely wedding set. It was beautiful. And there was a whole story behind him getting it, and the timing of him asking me to marry him and all that whole sweet story. But he got me this wedding set, and he was so proud of it. He was so very proud of it. And it was probably all together, because it was diamond bands, and it had 2 smaller diamonds on the top. Very pretty. I loved it. It just suited me so well. Probably a 1/2 carat to 3/4 carat altogether. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And this is where people get to me. It's like, why do you feel the need to criticize someone's choices when it comes to wedding rings or anything they give someone else or do? Or I'm not going to go into a rant, but this really upset me at the time, and it still upsets me when I think about it. I don't know who the person is that said this to Ron. I have no idea. I have a couple of guesses, but I'm not even sure I'm right. But someone had told him after we got married, had asked him, why didn't he buy me a bigger diamond? I'm like, I didn't marry Ron for a diamond. I mean, you know, I'm like any girl, I like a pretty jewelry and stuff like that, but I'm not a jewelry fiend. That is not what I'm looking for in a man, is his ability to give me a big diamond. But I just want to pinch that person's head off, because it bothered him. I mean, it bothered him to the point that he come to me one day and he said, Vicki, do you think your wedding set is nice enough, is big enough? I went, yeah. And he wouldn't tell me for a while why he was asking me. He asked me that 2 or 3 times. I said, Ron, what's going on? And he said, well, somebody told me that I should have bought you a nicer, bigger, more carat wedding set. I went, darling, I love my wedding set. I love it. And it's fine. You know, and I reassured him up and down. And so I kind of passed, and get to Christmas and I open up my Christmas presents. These diamonds, which I would say they're not 1/2 carat piece. They're probably maybe a 1/3 carat piece, but a decently big diamond ring, earrings. And I was like, darling, you didn't have to spend that much on me. And he said, well, this is to make up for your wedding set. Anyway, that's just how much one person's comment affected him. So, you know, let's be kind to people. Again, I would never look at a woman's wedding set and go to her husband and say, you should have bought her a bigger diamond. But that's just me. Some people just feel the need to make comments, negative comments on everything. And that's not the type of person I want to be. Yeah, I still can get fired up about that. I just, you know, Lord, let's be kind. Let's be kind to each other. We need more kindness. We got enough negativity in the world. And I'm not always kind. There's people I criticize. I go on YouTube, I see people, and I comment. I try to be kind in my comments, but you know, it's not that but still, when I think about that, I think I need to be kinder. I need to not contribute to the negativity in the world. The last thing I got is this ring. I've had it probably, I want to say, close to 2 decades. It was given to me by my former mother-in-law, and it's my birthstone, and I think it was her mother's, not 100% sure. And when she gave it to me, it was somebody in the families, and I'm like, do you really want to give that to me? And she's like, yes, I want to give it to you. It's just costume jewelry. It's not gold. It's not anything valuable, but I love it. And it goes with what I wear today. And I don't know. I've just gotten into wearing little costume jewelry rings a little bit more, and I'm going to buy me a few more. You know, just want to feel pretty some days. Well, I hope you all have a good Christmas, and I'm going to end this rambling. It's almost 20 minutes, but I love y'all. And again, if you have any questions about autoimmune hepatitis or PBC or anything, you're going through that, just let me know. And if I can't answer the questions, I will give you links to places you can find the answers to your questions. All right. Merry Christmas. Have a good day.